Following a major disruption of the ferry service between Banjul and Barra crossing points, the general manager of the Gambia Ferry Services has revealed that their engineers are working to restore services within 24 hours or less. And international news: at an extraordinary summit convened in Abuja, Nigeria this weekend, the authority of ECOWAS heads of state and government agreed to lift all sanctions imposed on Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger and Guinea. And in sports news, a Gambia international youngster Yankuba Minteh scored twice after coming on as a substitute for Feyenoord Rotterdam in their league game against Almere City on Saturday. Those and other stories coming up. Do stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. Now, at the foundation stone laying for the construction of the National People's Party West Coast Region Bureau in Brikama on Saturday, President Adama Barrow preached unity, openness, tolerance and equality within his National People's Party. Alusise was there and he now reports.
President Barrow, who doubles as the Secretary General and party leader of the ruling National People's Party, was joined for the foundation stone laying by his party's national and West Coast Region executive members, party supporters in Brikama, district chiefs of the West Coast Region and the region's governor Usman Bojang. When completed, this multi-story building, which is contracted to Jigo Construction, will serve as the home of NPP in the West Coast Region. Dubbed the powerhouse of government politics, the West Coast Region had 359,451 registered voters for the 2021 presidential elections, according to the Independent Electoral Commission. The bureau is located on the Brikama-Mandua road to ease access for party supporters. The party has inaugurated similar bureaus in other regions, with the construction of the Banjul Bureau also underway. The party will lay the foundation stone for the National Bureau in Kanipi Municipality on the 3rd of March. Speaking Mandinka, President Barrow said the construction of permanent NPP bureaus is a manifestation of intent to keep NPP alive forever in Gambian politics like ANC in South Africa. However, he said this will not be achieved if his party supporters do not remain disciplined, tolerant, united and truly loyal to the party. He urged NPP supporters to respect the party's chain of command and embrace newcomers with open arms. To those in executive positions, President Barrow advised them to be humble and treat party supporters equally. He reinforced his appeal for decent and peaceful politics for a stable country. He announced the launch of an NPP membership scheme and encouraged his supporters to formally register with the party. On his development aspirations, he gave assurances of his commitment to provide universal access to a good road network, clean drinking water supply and electricity to all Gambians. Excited by the construction of the bureau, several speakers including Jere Basute Bojang, Alkal of Brikama, Bala Jabang, Chief Mundo Jata, Makamara, NPP West Coast Regional Chairman Lamin Jambang Jammeh and Lamin Jata, one of the founding members of the NPP respectively, welcomed the development as timely in keeping the party strong in the region. The event was boosted by the presence of Mamadou Sabali, who left the main opposition United Democratic Party as campaign manager to join the NPP, and Ahmed Jite, who announced his full return to the National People's Party. Speaking to QTV on the sidelines of the event, both Sabali and Gita expressed delight at the warm welcome given to them by the president and his supporters.
I've seen a sense of direction, sense of urgency, sense of patriotism, sense of peace and national unity and reconciliation that President Barrow has exhibited consistently. And I feel that we don't have time to waste in this country. No matter how determined and focused the president is and his government, they will always need that extra hand.
I didn't leave NPP. That's first correction that I need to make. There were misunderstandings, but as you've said, that's all behind us. I am back, and back full time.
Ibrahim Silla, the Minister of Works and an executive member of the NPP, used the event to welcome back Mamadou Sabali and Ahmed Jite to the NPP. Minister Silla said the purpose of the bureau is to keep the NPP alive and to expand the support base and no other purpose. He predicted another landslide victory for the NPP in 2026. Sidin Jai, a young and popular politician and deputy spokesperson of the NPP who moderated the event, described President Barrow as a man with wisdom who is interested in a united and developing country. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Congratulations to the President of the Republic of the Gambia. Now on Sunday, a large crowd of jubilant and proud supporters of the ruling National People's Party and its alliance partners gathered at the buffer zone in Tallinding to formally celebrate President Barrow's 2024 African Peace Prize Award.
President Barrow arrives to a heroic welcome at the buffer zone in Tallinding, where a large crowd of people have converged for a spectacular celebration of the President's Remarkable African Peace Prize Award 2024. This event is organized and funded by National People's Party. The African Conference for Promoting Peace nominated President Barrow of the Gambia for this prestigious award in recognition of his outstanding efforts in promoting peace and advancing the respect for human rights, democracy and rule of law. The award is a Mauritanian initiative established in 2020 in partnership with the Abu Dhabi Peace Forum in the United Arab Emirates. This award has been won by former presidents of Niger and Nigeria, Their Excellencies Mohamed Bazoum and Mohamed Buhari in 2022 and 2023 respectively. Reading out a citation of the President, CDSK Njai, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, who also doubles as the Deputy Spokesperson of the National People's Party, described President Barrow as an extraordinary man who through his wisdom and vision has been able to transform the country under a peaceful and stable environment. According to Njai, this latest recognition is a testament to what he calls the President's impeccable peaceful character.
He has welcomed and encouraged the forging of alliances with political parties which have significantly contributed to enhancing dialogue and participation in national development and discourse. To crown his unyielding statesman-like approach to governance and commitment to the pursuit of peace, President Barrow has just commissioned a national dialogue with all political, traditional and faith leaders for sincere discussion issues of national significance, void of politics, personalities and sentiments. This is the first time that such an initiative has ever happened in our country and the first time ever that such an endeavor has been spearheaded by a sitting president. Therefore, President Barrow has fostered an environment where personally ensured that diverse voices are not only heard, but also actively involved in shaping the nation's destiny.
President Barrow thanked his supporters and well-wishers for organizing such a successful event in honor of his award, which he dedicated to all Gambians who entrusted him through their votes to steer the affairs of the country. He vowed not to ever betray the trust bestowed on him while preaching political peace, unity and tolerance. He said the award has inspired him to work even harder to better the lives of Gambians as he promised more transformational developments by 2026. He paid special respect to his wives for standing by him at all times. Speakers including Bakar Singate, Executive Coordinator of Kanifi Municipality, Maimuna Bande, NPP's National Women's Mobilizer, Demba Sabali, First Deputy National President of NPP, Lamin Cham, NPP's Campaign Manager, and Hamad Nkeba, Leader of the National Reconciliation Party respectively, recognized peace as the bedrock for any democracy to thrive and for development to take place. They commend the President for maintaining a peaceful country while at the same time thanking all individuals and institutions for supporting the event. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Now, following a major disruption to ferry services between the Banjul and Barrow crossing points, forcing passengers to use local canoes or small boats, the General Manager of the Gambia Ferry Services has revealed that their engineers are working to restore services within 24 hours or less. Lolem Kamara reports.
The Banjul-Barrow crossing points are major crossing routes used by hundreds of people daily. According to the management of the Gambia Ferry Services, two of its ferries, Kanilai and Kunta Kinte, are currently undergoing maintenance. Abdullah Tambedu, the General Manager of the Gambia Ferry Services, further explains.
We have been having challenges on our boat, on our Kunta Kinte ferry and the Kanilai ferry. It's to do with the status of the engines on board the ferries and the propulsion systems which make the ferries to the engines to pull the ferries.
Mr. Tambedu, however, admits that the disruption of services is causing challenges to their customers and to the company. He stresses the efforts the Technical Service Department is doing to ensure that both ferries are reinstated to service. Due to the intermittent breakdown of ferries, Mr. Tambedu explains some of the mechanisms put in place to end this nightmare.
Some few months ago, the ferries ordered 6 new engines, more than a year ago, and they were lately delivered. We received 3 of the engines about a month ago. We are working on installing them hopefully in the next week or 2.
When ferries are not operating on these routes, passengers have no choice but to use local canoes and boats to reach the other bank of the river. We engage some of these passengers about their experience. Here is Mariama Sanyang from Badibu. This is my first time I have used the boat. Because of the situation, I have to cross with my child. It was never my wish to do so, but I have no choice because the main ferry is not working. Modu Nyang is another who was forced to take a boat as he was coming from Fasinjoga Choi. Lamin Sonko is another passenger and has this to say.
For me, exactly, we paid $50 for our this cross, but sometimes the people that normally, like if we are getting inside the boat, they normally charge us $20, but then you will insist and try and persuade them or convince them to at least change on their price to be flexible. It is not safety because as I was in the ferry, in the boat, there were kids whom you know that they are kids though, and you know in such circumstances you might not wish for, but anything can happen. And in such circumstances we didn't even put on life jacket, and that is very risky. So in such circumstances, whatever circumstance happen, you might not be able to save all those kids because they are young ones.
This terminal, which is normally very busy and bustling with life, is now empty and deserted. While the Gambia Ferry Services is working to restore service, the Gambia Ferry Services General Manager urges the public's patience as the disruption continues to cause a loss of revenue to the Gambia Ferry Services. The boat owners are rejoicing, at least for now. For the passengers, the sooner the ferries are fixed, the better. For QTV News, Lolly M. Camara.
Well, there is good news. We just have an information that that boat ferries are now working fine. So we will now, from that story, we'll now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more stories for you. Don't go away.
The Gambia Revenue Authority GRA will hold the 6th edition of the Taxpayers Appreciation and Award Ceremony on Saturday, March 2nd, 2024. Oh yes, the awards is dedicated to our esteemed and valued taxpayers who consistently pay their taxes and duties on time, file their tax returns on time, present authentic and original customs documents, and comply with relevant provisions of the revenue laws. The ceremony will be graced by His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow, Cabinet Ministers, senior government officials, members of the business community and development partners. A memorable night is assured in this year's award ceremony, which will take place on Saturday, March 2nd at the Kairaba Beach Hotel commencing at 7:30 p.m. GRA is your GRA. GRA is our GRA, collecting revenue for national development. Tobacco Control Act 2016 came into force in December 2018. Section 9 of the Act gives every person the right to a tobacco smoke-free environment, and a person consuming a tobacco product shall ensure that he or she does not expose another person to tobacco smoke. The Tobacco Control Act 2016 prohibits smoking, including the use of shisha in public places, workplaces, and public transports. A person shall not smoke in any part of any public place, workplace, or public transport and within 100 meters of such place. These places include
hotels, restaurants, bars, office buildings, schools, garages, prisons, police cells, video clubs, and public service vehicles, among others. Any person responsible for a public place, workplace, or public transport shall ensure the observance of this section. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Management Sciences for Health.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I'm Asma Uba. Now, 25 persons with special needs have graduated from a 9-month tailoring course facilitated by the Gambia Federation of the Disabled in collaboration with the Hino International Foundation and funded by the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa. Jenaba Sonko tells us more.
Over 10% of the Gambian population are persons with special needs. Persons with special needs continue to face unemployment, inequality, poverty, and discrimination in numerous forms. Through the Gambia Special Needs Entrepreneurial Fund, this 9-month training course targeted individuals with various forms of special needs to build their skills in tailoring to ensure employability and independence. Here is the chairperson of the Federation of the Disabled, Mohamed Kurbali.
It is indeed the overarching objective and principle of Gambia Federation of the Disabled to make sure that it fulfills an employment aspect of persons with disabilities. Since it is realized that although it is the responsibility of Gambia government to ensure that persons with disabilities are gainfully employed, however, the Federation yet realized the fact that the government cannot do it alone.
Generally, employment opportunities in the Gambia are very limited. The youth unemployment rate in the Gambia is over 41.5%. With this huge percentage, the chances for persons with special needs are very slim, considering their limited access to education and training, bringing about huge social and economic consequences.
The government of the Gambia, through the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, promote the rights, participation, empowerment, and inclusion of persons with disability in all sectors of development. This is because there cannot be meaningful development without all inclusion.
National Employment Policy highlights that persons with disabilities should have access to employment in the public and private sector with healthy working environments, as well as access to microfinance and entrepreneurship trainings. The Minister for Trade, Regional Integration and Employment, Babukar Ojuv, disclosed that his ministry is already working on strengthening existing legislation to improve the plight of persons with special needs.
I promise you the Ministry of Trade will expand your business if you are serious with it. And I have no reason to believe you will not be serious. So go back and start work, serious work, and we'll work with you to improve on what you are doing.
Each participant is provided on loan a brand new sewing machine. Donna Ibrahim is a member of the Deaf Association and a beneficiary. She is now ready to begin her tailoring career after the 9-month intensive training.
I personally was a student of was a student of a former school, a tailoring skill center. But what I learned at SND, I have never learned it somewhere. And this skill that I achieved from SND is really impacting my business now, because I have a shop, and within my shop I created somewhere where I can be doing this tailoring business.
The Gambia Federation of the Disabled, established in the early 1990s, is the umbrella body representing over 300,000 disabled persons in the Gambia, ranging from the blind, the hard of hearing, the physically challenged, and albinism, amongst others. Currently, the Federation coordinates the affairs of 19 affiliated organizations of persons with disabilities legally registered with it, advocating for respect, promotion, and protection of the inherent dignity, individual freedom, diversity, employment, amongst others. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Basonko.
From local news, let's now take a look at international news. At an extraordinary summit convened in Abuja, Nigeria this weekend, the authority of ECOWAS heads of state and government agreed to lift all sanctions imposed on Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and Guinea, as part of measures to prevent a break within the bloc. Aliou Cissé monitored the summit and he now reports.
The summit was convened under the chairmanship of Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu to discuss the latest developments in the region, the situation in the Republic of Niger, and the notification given by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to withdraw from ECOWAS. President Barrow was represented at the summit by Vice President Mohamed B. S. Jallow. On the withdrawal of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, the authority noted that the withdrawal will have political, socio-economic, financial, and institutional implications for the three countries, as well as for ECOWAS as a group. It noted that withdrawal may also lead to diplomatic and political isolation at the international scene, where the countries have obtained bloc support for their candidates and candidature in the contest for international positions within the African Union, the United Nations, and similar bodies. Also, such a withdrawal will automatically affect the immigration status of the citizens, as they may be required to obtain visas to travel within the region.
The complexity of the issues at hand necessitate a comprehensive and collaborative approach. Our decision will be guided by our commitment to safeguarding the constitutional order, upholding the democratic principles, and promoting the social and economic well-being of the citizens of the aforementioned countries.
The three member states represent 17.4% of the region's 425 million population. Even though they represent 10% of the region's GDP, their departure will constitute a reduction of the market size of ECOWAS. The authority further noted that the three countries are beneficiaries of several regional projects and programs. The authority reinforced its call for the release of President Bazoum, former president of the Republic of Niger, as well as his family and political detainees. On sanctions, the authority has lifted with immediate effect the following sanctions imposed on the Republic of Niger: closure of land and air borders between ECOWAS countries and Niger, institution of ECOWAS no-fly zone on all commercial flights to and from Niger, and many other sanctions including travel bans, no-fly zones, and bans linked to financial matters and institutions. The authority decided to lift financial and economic sanctions on the Republic of Guinea.
This decision is based on humanitarian considerations, especially as we are in the month of Lent and as we prepare for the holy month of Ramadan. The authority has also instructed the President of the Commission to invite Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, and Guinea to attend the technical and consultative meetings of ECOWAS, as well as all security-related meetings.
Political analysts have said the sanctions have seemingly not impacted the juntas in the respective countries, as appear to be the regional bloc's intention. All ECOWAS institutions, member states, WAIMU, and all other regional institutions are advised to implement these decisions. The three member states that have withdrawn have been urged to use dialogue, negotiation, and mediation to address their concerns. The authority thanked His Excellency General Yakubu Gowon for his interest in the welfare of the community and for his valuable suggestions. The former Nigerian head of state had written an open letter asking for dialogue to keep ECOWAS united and had included an appeal for the lifting of sanctions in that letter. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
From international news, let's now take a look at sports news in a moment. Now, Gambia international youngster Yankuba Minteh scored twice after coming as a substitute for Feyenoord Rotterdam in their league game against Almere City FC on Saturday. Elsewhere, Musa Barrow was also on target for his Saudi Arabia-based club side. Our sports reporter Mamadou Gajaga was monitoring, and this is his report.
Yankuba Minteh made history by scoring the 2000 away goal for Feyenoord Rotterdam in the Dutch Eredivisie after coming off the bench in the second half to score a brace. Minteh, who was brought on with the match goalless, scored his first after controlling the ball on the right before lobbing the keeper with a left-footed effort, which sailed into the roof of the top left corner of the net. His second came in the second minute of added-on time, and although it was a tapping after a beautiful pass, it was the history-making goal for Feyenoord. Minte's goal proved to be the only goals scored in the game. His latest goal-scoring feat continued his extraordinary impact since joining Feyenoord on loan from his England-based club Newcastle United. Feyenoord had returned to league action after their penalty shootout defeat to Roma in the UEFA Europa League on Thursday at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome. The two clubs were neck and neck, 2-2 on aggregate. Penalties decided the tie after extra time, with Roma going through. Yankuba Minteh had a quiet game against Roma after coming on as a 71st minute substitute and was not involved in the penalty shootout. Yankuba Minteh had taken part in the majority of Feyenoord's league games in the 2023-2024 season, making 17 appearances overall and accumulating 777 minutes of playing time. He has started in 8 of these appearances across their 23 fixtures and had been used off the bench on 9 occasions. He has now scored 5 goals and 3 assists in those 17 appearances. Elsewhere, Musa Barrow scored a powerful low drive in Al Tawoun's 3-1 win against Al Ogdoud in the Saudi Pro League. The goal was his 5th, and he also had an assist in 16 appearances. While some Gambian players are thriving for their clubs, the Gambia's football ranking has dropped, according to the most recent FIFA ranking published on February 15, 2024. The Gambia is ranked 130th in the world and 39th out of 53 countries in Africa. The Gambia's drop in rankings was to be expected after a string of poor results. These included the 3 defeats in the AFCON 2023 group stage, preceded by 2 defeats in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers against Burundi and Cote d'Ivoire. The Senior Scorpions' next match is a World Cup qualifier scheduled for the 3rd of June when they take on Seychelles, and a week later they will face Gabon. They will have a new coach following the departure of Tom Samfield and will be hoping for an upturn in the performance and results. Mamoudou Gajaga, QTV News.
Well, that's all we have for you in this news bulletin. Join us again at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.